Hello, everyone. We had some technical difficulties. We are now here. We are live with you. It is me, Wendy Leung, IBS elimination specialist, and I am here with a good friend, Dr. Lucille Necas, and she is a life coach and a psychiatrist as well. I will let you share who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks very much, Wendy. And our topic is a perfect one for what we've just gone through, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, yes, because we have worked very well together to get through these technical adversities. Anyway, yes, my name is Dr. Lucille Necas, and welcome to everybody out there. This is a pleasure for me to be speaking with Wendy and all of you. I am a life coach. And I focus very much on women who want to fulfill their potential. So they are the women who are basically successful in their own way, but really want to fulfill themselves in terms of happiness. They've done everything expected of them to, be quote unquote successful, but they find that there's something a little bit missing and lacking in their lives, and they really want to go for it. And my background is that I've been a psychiatrist for about 30 years now. I have come from my own life of full and rich of adversity, and ended up helping people through psychiatry. And I specialize in psychotherapy and a particular form called EMDR. And I have been blessed to work with so many people down through the years who have such an array of issues, mental and physical. And through this experience of helping people, I realized that I myself was not completely fulfilled in my work, although it's been very rewarding. And I began through my own spiritual journey to realize that my life purpose, my fulfillment would be honing in on the women that I'd seen in my practice who did well with the therapy, but were sitting on a virtual treasure chest of gifts and talents and skills and innate abilities that they hadn't been using, or they'd minimized the value of in their lives. And I realized if I could coach them to mine and nurture those treasures, that gold inside of them, not only would they thrive and shine, but we could actually transform the world. So anyway, that's my little humble ambition in life. And one of the reasons that Wendy and I connected was that we have a very similar philosophy. I felt a chemistry with Wendy the moment I saw her. And she has gone through, as you probably know, a lot of her own physical and emotional adversity, which she's going to talk about. But also, having gone through a lot of emotional and physical adversity myself, especially as a child, I had to learn, because my parents were really not there for me. In fact, they helped to let's say, aggravate a lot of my issues. I was left on my own, really, to figure out how to heal myself, how to balance out myself. I ended up with a lot of digestive issues, which led to not so much IBS, but chronic physical conditions like depression, like chronic bronchitis, eczema, allergies, obesity. And it has taken decades for me to figure out how to get to the state of vibrant health I have now. And a lot of it had to do with going the natural route, because mainstream medicine didn't have anything really to offer me. So I very, very much appreciate people like Wendy, who've kind of done the same thing and are available to all of us to provide a natural way of healing. So anyway, Wendy, I want to turn it over to you and just have you explain how you got to be where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect segue, because I also went through that journey of if you're watching and you've been following my community for a long time, then you know that I had IBS myself. I was diagnosed with both IBS and GERD when I was in university, and it was that the women, the types of women that Lucille speaks of, are also the types of women that tend to get IBS as well. The
Sure.
go-getters, the A-type, we take on the world, we take on everything on our shoulders, and have a tendency to sometimes have that impact the way that our health is, because we're focusing more on helping other people, we're focusing more on achieving things externally that that our health and our either our physical or sometimes our mental and emotional health can erode a little bit as well, and then we end up with these illnesses that start to manifest in our bodies. And so that was my situation when I was in university. I was taking on too much, and I developed the IBS and the GERD, and it took me a long time to navigate that system and really figure out for myself how to self-heal, for one, because there wasn't that type of support. And there was some holistic help out there, but nobody really knew too much about IBS. And so I found myself actually going on the self-healing journey as well, figuring out step by step what I was to do, how I was to improve my symptoms, understanding and managing my symptoms, and then finally getting to a point where I was no longer experiencing those things anymore. And then, so knowing that, and 15 years later, seeing that a lot of people are still struggling with that is essentially why. Yeah. With the IBS. But I did want to share an interesting story that relates to what we're talking about, opportunity in the face of adversity. And I do want to acknowledge where we are currently in the world situation, right? Like there is a lot of uncertainty. Things are changing. Things are changing by the minute. Things are changing by the hour. Things are changing by the day. And we're not entirely sure where we're going to end up and when we're going to end up there. And I think right now that can trigger a lot of uncertainty and emotional sort of anxiety or emotional stagnation that can happen in our bodies as well. And one of the stories that I wanted to share about that in terms of having opportunity in the face of adversity is something that I went through about 6 or 7 years ago, 6.5 years ago about, where I was hit by a car. And it could have gone any way, right? I could have reacted. It was not my fault in the least. I had done everything that I could to be safe, walking through an intersection, looking left and right, all of those things. And so this was just an event that happened. And I could have taken it in a way where it was like, focused on the negatives. Oh my gosh, I can't walk. Oh my gosh, I can't use my dominant hand, my left hand. I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do, and like my life is going down the toilet. But instead, I took a look at it and I thought, okay, well, this is an event. This is something that's happened. It's beyond my control. It's already, in motion.
Yeah.
And now, what can I do to make the best of the situation? So, what that taught me, and especially as a person who was running at 10 million miles a minute, I had so much on my plate, and all of a sudden, like I had nothing. I couldn't do anything because I physically could not get out of the hospital bed. It taught me patience, and it taught me to understand the gift of space and the gift of time, and what that actually means. And so I know that that Lucille and I wanted to have this conversation because you may be in that similar situation, right? If you're the type of person who is A-type, I don't really like to use A-type. I know you don't really much.
No.
It's driven, right? We're driven.
Yeah, we're driven. Yeah.
We're busy. And that you might actually just feel like all of a sudden your legs were cut out from under you, and you just don't know what to do. And so, Lucille, do you want to just speak more on that?
Well, yeah, because I joke that I am a recovering, if you want to call it workaholic, because my reaction, my way of coping with growing up in a highly toxic family was to become very mental and very busy. Okay. I had to, and part of that was essential to my survival. I had to think on my feet, work really hard to get myself out of the conundrum I was in, physically and emotionally. I had to figure things out, read, but I also had to escape emotionally. And what that meant was I lived in my head a lot. I still have a tendency to live in my head, be very, very mental. It's a nice place to always escape to. But it does not work. And I find almost all of my clients have the same issue because of their dysfunctional upbringings, their traumas, losses, etc. We learn early on as children, a lot of us, to go live up in our heads because it's kind of like you can hide in the attic, or you can be busy up in the attic, and you cut yourself off from your emotions and you cut yourself off from your body, which is sending you signals all the time, and it stores a lot of upsetting, disturbing memories, sensations, etc. If you're not inhabiting your body with your consciousness, your body will deteriorate. And that's the way it is for a lot of us. And then what happens is, for a lot of my patients too, is that they go to a certain point and they have like a car accident, or they have a serious physical imbalance. They have a heart attack, for example, or in the majority of my cases, they hit a wall with depression or anxiety. And what I would love to do with the people who are listening is kind of help, and I know it's your purpose too, Wendy, is to kind of coach everybody to step back and do as Wendy had to do and I had to do, is kind of step back before you have to hit the wall, to step back. And this is the perfect time. You can't do your usual pattern of busy, busy, busy. And so it does allow all of us to really go into ourselves and assess whatever needs to be balanced now. Mm-hmm. So it's a great time for a lot of people, I think. And I know, Wendy, you agree with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely there is a lot of anxiety, right? It's palpable. We can feel it.
Yes.
You can feel it going around. There's a lot of sort of panic, but the best way to handle that really is to regain control of your emotions, of your body,
right,
your mind, and put yourself in a state where you're relaxed, where you're calm, where you can be of the best help, right? Because for us who are wanting to help everybody, who are wanting to do some work for other people, you may feel like you're not able to right now because you're at home, you're stuck here. But the best way that you can help is actually by supporting yourself and by strengthening yourself at this time. And then at that point, then your creative juices will open up, and you'll be able to find more ways to help our community, to support our community.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Well, we had a simple exercise that I think you came up with, that just to get people started.
Yeah.
In dropping into their bodies, helping their consciousness reconnect with the body. Yeah. So do you want to share that with the folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Lucille was mentioning, and she mentioned it from the perspective of if you are having at a young age, if you're having trauma and that sort of forces you up into your mind and living in your mind, you can also have an experience that's I would say maybe you could consider it to be physical trauma, I guess, but that if you're feeling physical symptoms of pain and you're not wanting to address them, or you don't know how to address them, I guess.
Right. Yes.
Of putting it, that you will also tend to live in your brain, and you'll tend to just push it down and ignore the physical symptoms that are happening, and instead just focus on the thing that you can control, which is your brain. And we all know for high functioning people, the tendency is to be, calm under fire, to be able to completely be productive, and nobody else on the outside will even know that anything is wrong in the end.
Right.
And so that's a great quality to have, in the sense that you're able to continue to achieve and continue to be productive. But in terms of the detriment that it does to your body and does to your mind over time, is that it disconnects the mind and body. It disconnects you from your present, from being able to heal yourself. And so the exercise that we wanted to share today is a body scan. And that way we're taking your asset, which is your mind, and we're refocusing it inward. Lucille was saying that we find our inner wisdom, and we do that by actually reconnecting into our bodies, and thinking about our bodies. So if you wanted to just take a moment with me and just close your eyes. And just take a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And you might notice that your breaths are a little bit shorter right now, but as you do your breathing, you're going to notice that it lengthens. And in again and out. And you can start from the top of your head. So we're going to be looking, you're going to be feeling what the top of your head feels like. So what we're doing is we're scanning through your body. We're looking for any tensions that are happening. And you might end up feeling a little bit more pain than you did before, because you were pushing through and you were ignoring the pain in your body. But what we're doing right now is we're calling attention to it so that we can address it. And so you're working through from the top of your head. Take a look, see if there's any tension in your scalp, if you can feel that. Moving down into your eyebrows, into your eyes. Maybe you're feeling some pressure from behind the eyes. You've been on your computer or your phone for a long time since we're stuck inside. Moving downwards into your nose. Maybe there's some congestion there that you didn't notice. So going into your mouth, going into your jaw, and maybe you're clenching your teeth and you're holding your jaw, and there's actually some tension in there. We're moving down into your neck, seeing if there's any tension in your neck. And if there is, you can just shift a little bit. You can just move your head a little bit, just gently. And then we move down into your collarbone, into your shoulders. And maybe they're rolled forward, or maybe they're tucked up behind your ears. And if they are, you can drop and you can roll backwards. And then we move into your chest area, and this is where you tend to cage your anxiety. And if you feel anxious in this moment, if you feel your heart is beating a little bit faster, you're still having some shallow breaths, you can take another deep breath in. And imagine your rib cage opening and then contracting as you take your deep breath out. Then we're moving downwards. You can kind of feel your arms, see if you're holding any tension in your arms. Are you clenching your fists? Are your fingers relaxed? If they aren't, you can relax them now. And then we're moving down your torso, and we're moving into your abdomen, and we're feeling if there's any tension there, if there's any pain there. For those of you who have IBS, are you feeling that cramping sensation or a dull ache or stabbing or any of those things? Just acknowledge them, just notice that they're there. Take another deep breath in. And breathe it out. And then we're moving down into your hips. And if you're sitting down, are you feeling any tension in your hips? Have you been sitting down for a little bit too long? And if you are, then you can shift your hips a little bit. And then we're moving down into your legs, down your knees, checking if there's any pain in there, if there's any aching in there. Moving down towards your ankles, seeing how your ankles are feeling. Down into your feet, how they're feeling. your toes, how they're feeling, your heels. And then actually just feel the ground beneath your feet. Just move your feet so that you feel like you're actually connected and grounded to the earth, to the floor, wherever it is that you are right now. And now that your entire body, and you've identified where there's tension, where there's stagnation, where there's pain, we're going to do 3 deep breaths, and you're going to focus in on one of those spots. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in, and then as we breathe out, we're going to release that tension. So you're going to energetically imagine that that pain, that tension is just flowing away. It's just leaving your body in a very gentle manner. So deep breath in and out, and relaxing everything out. And deep breath in and out again, relaxing even more of that tension, more of that pain, releasing all of that out. Deep breath in again and out, and releasing even more. And at this moment, I'm going to have you just center yourself again. Take a moment. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And see how you feel.
That was great, Wendy. That's great.
Yeah, so this is a tool that you can use throughout the day. I would recommend that you use it in the morning when you wake up in the morning. Sometimes we wake up with some tension, and we don't want to start the day that way. We want to make sure that we're as relaxed as possible going into the day. So you can do that in the morning. You can do it lying down. You can do it, mid-morning. You can do it mid-afternoon. You can do it before you go to sleep as well. It's helpful oftentimes to just relax your brain, come back into your body, allow your body to relax so that you can relax into sleep.
And that was a great exercise. I highly recommend it as well to people. And something that I sometimes encounter with people who are very much into that driven, sympathetic overdrive mode, that the way you can describe it as, is that when they do something like this, there may be parts of their body that they have difficulty either feeling, or that they start feeling some emotional tension or anxiety about going into. And my advice would be that, just notice it. Don't judge it. Don't get frustrated with it. Maybe this is one of the first times in your life that you've actually explored your body with your consciousness. And so you're going into unknown territory in some ways, and that's okay. And just be curious about it, and just continue. I would just say continue the exercise, continue the breathing, and it may be something that will work itself out when you do it repeatedly. Sometimes you can get a really big aha coming from a particular part of your body that has been trying to send you a message about something. And that's beautiful, because what that is the body saying, listen, we better deal with this now. So it offers you an opportunity for even more growth and healing of whatever's been stored in your body. Yeah. So anyway, it's all good.
Absolutely. So yeah, I hope this has been really helpful for you. We would love to know if you have any comments, how you feel after doing this exercise, and how we can help you. So how are you feeling right now? What are you struggling with in the moment?
Right.
How are you dealing with this? Are you feeling disconnected? Are you feeling that mind-body disconnect? And if you are, is this helpful for you? Come back in a few days and report back after you've done it for a couple of days as well.
Sure. Yeah.
How that's changed as well.
Great. Thank you, everybody. And much love to all of you. No matter what you're experiencing right now, we'll all get through it.
Yes, absolutely. Sending you guys lots of light and lots of love. Talk soon.
Bye.